I've gone right off you, Daniel. I've been speaking to you for
Yeah,
five
that's fair.
minutes.
I tend to have that effect on people. Just give it 5 minutes, and then I'll lure you back in with my Irish charm. Just give it a little bit.
You've already done it, buddy. You've already
Yeah,
done it.
thanks.
Guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Matt Garvey. We are here to talk about making comics, and I am with one of my favorite YouTubers ever. I am here with the interview phenomenon,
That's fair.
Daniel
Yeah.
Fee. It is absolutely fair. Now, if you've never seen Daniel's channel, all his details are going to be in the bottom of this description. And he has interviewed people like Jamie Delano, PJ Holden, Grant Morrison recently. Seriously, Grant Morrison. I don't even know which pact with the devil he made to get that interview. But he's going to give me a grilling of 10 questions about making comics for my video. And then he's going to do an interview on his channel, which is going to come up after this. So make sure you don't click off. It's going to go right into it. And he's going to go over some questions right now. So, Daniel, fire away. Let's do a 10 question fire
Perfect.
round.
This is
Go
more
for
Matt
it.
Garvey. That's what everyone needs. Just more Matt Garvey. But yeah,
Le-
10
less is
quick
more. Less
fire
is more.
questions. Yeah, I think that's kind of your approach. But my first thing I want to ask you, favorite comic book of all time? Every single comic book, what's your favorite comic book?
Favorite individual issue or in like story?
Story arc,
Story.
amazing.
See, it's kind of like when someone asks you, like, what kind of films you like, what's your favorite film? Really depends on what mood you get me in. Because, like, if you would say to me, like, what's your favorite film? It's going to be like one of like five different films, depending on,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
my mood. With comics,
For quick fire questions, you're very slow. You're very
I
slow.
know. Do you know what? You can get it on Comixology because it's out of print now. There was a comic that DC did in the late 90s. Then Dark Horse reprinted it. It's a comic called Major Bummer, and it's written by and
Wow.
created by the guys that did The Mask. It's so ahead of its time. It's unbelievable. It's about this guy called Martin Lewis, or was it Lou Martin? Lou Martin, and he gets given superpowers. There's just this kid, and he just sits up all night playing video games, that kind of thing, and he gets given superpowers. And the twist is, and it's not really a twist because in lens on everything, is he's actually an experiment for two alien high school students that are making superheroes on Earth.
Wow.
They get him confused with another guy. So he's Lou Martin, and they get him confused with Martin Lewis. And literally, like, this lawyer who should have been the superhero didn't get the powers, and this kid that just wants to sit around playing video games kind of gets thrown into being a superhero, and he really doesn't want it, and it's absolutely hilarious. If you want to see like Nazi T-Rexes and stuff like that, it's just absolutely bonkers. Track it down, it's absolutely fascinating. So if you're gonna ask me to pick one comic right here right now, Major Bummer.
Less than 5 minutes in, and you brought up Nazi T Rexes. I'm not even surprised. It's very on
It's
brand for
hilarious.
Matt.
It's
Matt
it's
Garvey.
funny. It's funny. You'll like it.
All right, second question. Favorite comic book character of all time?
Daredevil.
Every Daredevil. You didn't even. Yeah, you were very quick with that one. That's what I was thinking. Daredevil. What's it? The Nascenti, the Sadarsky, Miller run, Soul run, Brubaker,
Oh,
and Wade. What's that one
it,
Daredevil run?
Do you know what? I know everyone says Frank Miller, and I love Frank Miller's run, but Nascenti's run and John Romita Jr.'s art was what got me
Great
hooked.
stuff.
The Scott McDaniel's art on the first comic I ever bought which was Daredevil. That was the one that got me hooked. But then when I finally discovered comic shops, literally years and years ago, when I was your age, actually,
Yeah.
I'd
So
go to I'd go
dinosaurs, cavemen, shops right next to it, and stuff like
for
that.
making comics on on cave walls, that kind of thing. I used to go to a comic shop in the UK called Atomic Comics at Still. I used to go to like the long boxes, and I just go buy loads of old Daredevil
Yeah.
comics, and they were all John Romita Jr. art, and I just fell in love with it, and just and Anne's writing, just it was just mental. So yeah, it's that run, and it will always be Daredevil. Love Daredevil.
All right. Well, speaking of Daredevil, very street level superhero. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? I asked this question to Frank Whiteley, and yeah, he came up with really great answers. So I'd like to hear your one.
If I could have a superpower, uh, to not care. No.
Care. That's such a lame mutant. Imagine being at the X Men and saying, I don't
Yeah.
care."
Yeah, I'm beyond I'm beyond criticism. Yeah, I
I'll
know, but you're
stand
like
over here. You guys could do that. I'll
yeah.
just be me.
If I had one spell,
And what's your superpower? What's your superpower?
I think I'd like to be invisible.
Invisible. Just like what would you do with your invisibility? Would you use it for good?
No, just wind people up.
You go up to like Francis Toty and you just flick his ear while he's
Yeah,
working. And he
yeah,
kind of stand back.
just like start whispering, like just then just leave, like yeah. I just annoy people even more.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that's perfect answer there. But favorite comic book writer of all time.
Favorite comic book writer of all time. Ooh, that's a good one. See, again, it depends on where I am in the world. There was three books that made me want to write comics, and very different writers. One is obviously Alan Moore,
Yeah.
but not like The Watchmen or V for Vendetta or From Hell. I read his Swamp Thing run only about like 10, 15 years ago for the first time.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the story, I won't spoil it. But there's something that he does to Swamp Thing very early on in the story that kind of changes the dynamic of the character, and that hooked me. I was like, oh wow, you could take these well-established characters and do something completely different. And that's kind of like the theme for the other two stories that made me want to write comics. And the other one is Mark Millar's Old Man Logan. I love
Yeah.
that idea. I love that idea of taking Wolverine out of his comfort zone, turning him something different. Like he doesn't pop his claws until like the end of it, and
Where he bursts out the Hulk.
yeah, exactly, and it's a great book. And another one is it's actually a Joe Quesada comic. It's a Daredevil one called Daredevil Father, where he takes something. Again, I'm not going to spoil. Takes something within the Daredevil mythos, and he changes it turns it completely on his head. And it's that kind of thinking around characters. You kind of think these characters have been around for like 78 years, and you can still do something oddly unique and oddly different that makes them stand out. And that's so I'd say either of those three writers at the moment would have always been, the special place in my
Yeah.
heart.
So even as like a writer or just a fan, what's your favorite genre of comics? Sci-fi, thriller, action. What's your favorite genre of comics?
Always got a soft spot for superheroes. I'll always read Daredevil, no matter who's writing it, who's drawing it. I'll always read that and enjoy that. Chip Zdarsky at the moment's killing it. I think his
Yes.
run on it's absolutely fantastic. Um, I am. I'll read anything. I literally, yeah. Do you know
And so
it's
writing is the superheroes as well. Writing, just your favorite genre to write for superheroes.
for writing. No, again, it's really dependent on the idea of the story, and it's putting trying to put a unique twist in it because if you listen to any like writing theories and stuff like all stories have already been done. You just have to put a unique twist on it. But yeah, no, I am. I just it's whatever the idea inspires me. Like if you look at my comics, and this is not me being egotistical whatsoever, because I try not to be. But like within the comics I've done comedy, I've done horror, I've done sci-fi, I've done superheroes, and I love writing them all. So I don't kind of want to be pigeonholed into like one style of writing or one genre of writing. I just want to, if I get an idea for it's like I wrote a western recently. It's like who would have? I was
Yeah.
my friend dared me to write a western, so I wrote a western. That's how I write Western. So I like a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you put it perfectly there. But so, just discussing stories in general, what's your favorite team to write for? Is it mortality, religions, human beings, human? What's that favorite team of you to get to write in your stories?
Theme. Again, it really depends on the idea. It usually
Oh yeah.
stems from just like either a joke, an idea for a scene, or a twist, and that kind of takes it in every direction. Like if you read some of my comics, what I always like to try and do is kind of lead you down the garden path and then take you in a completely different direction. Like, oh, I didn't see that coming, and so that's it's like if you've ever read Pray for Us, it's like it starts off as like quite a generic. He's got it. He's got it. Like so you like with that. I mean, we can spoil it if you want.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
first issue is pretty much generic. Like spaceship lands on a lone planet, and the guy's got to get back to the ship and his wife and the crew and that kind of thing. And that's quite like yeah, it's been done. And then at the end of the second issue, I do something completely different that kind of turns it on its head, and that's what I enjoy more. It's like well, it should be this, but I'm going to do this instead. So that's what I think when I'm writing.
yeah, absolutely. So my 10th and final question for all your lovely viewers: why did you start a YouTube channel? What bet did you lose? Why did you start a YouTube channel?
um, I love doing Comic Cons, and I really enjoy doing Comic Cons. And every time I do a Comic Con, someone always comes up to me, and they're always really shy, and they're always really super sweet, and they come up and they go, "How, like, how do you find an artist? Like, how do you like?" And you get bombarded with questions, so you're usually there with them for like half an hour. And I always want to help everyone. I will always talk to everyone and give them as much advice as I can, even if it's the wrong advice because it's coming from me. And then COVID hit. So there was
Yeah.
no Comic Cons for like 2 years. And I still get people asking me on Twitter or from our website, that kind of thing, asking me like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I thought, well, if I put it on YouTube, it's there. And it saves me having to write the same answer out 50 million times. So I can just go, there's a link, go watch it. But even though I've been doing it for just over a year, I still get people that, ask me the same questions. And they go, I've seen the channel. I was like, yeah, well, you haven't because the answer's there. Go watch that video. So, no, that's why I started the channel. I really wanted to help people, and it seems to be helping people. So I'm really happy.
Perfect way to put it. And that was my 10 quick fire questions with Matt Garvey himself. He is friends with J. Francis Toty. So, yeah, that's one of
Yeah, we're more frenemies than anything.
acquaintances, maybe. No, that's the only reason I really wanted to have you on, just,
You want me to put you in touch with Joe? Okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
basically.
I can do that. I can do that. He's a good guy. He's a lovely guy. He's one of my favourite collaborators of all time. He's just
Brilliant.
super
Yeah.
fun to work with. But no, he's cool. I'll happily hook you up with him. But thank you so much for asking me those questions, Daniel. And if you want to watch Daniel's full-on interview with me, it's coming up right now.